And good morning at 7:04 on this Friday, April 7th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. Yes, a Friday morning. It's cloudy and overcast and a little on the cool side, but going to be a fantastic day. We welcome you to our program. This morning, of course, it's time for Wilson Bank and Trust, and Taylor Walker is here this morning. Taylor, good morning.
Good morning to you.
It is nice to have you with us today to talk about Wilson Bank and Trust. Taylor Walker, Executive Vice President, Chief Credit Officer. Now, you've been here at least once before with Gary Whitaker, you told me.
That is correct, about this time last year, close to Easter. Yes, sir.
Well, I want you to remind, because I've forgotten how long you've been with the bank, what have you done beforehand, where are you from, a minute or two to tell us all about yourself.
Well, absolutely. So originally from the Sumner County area, but native here, Middle Tennessee, all my life. Moved away a little while and came back home because I knew what I was missing, right? So at that time, got the opportunity to start with Wilson Bank and Trust, and that was going on 11 years ago, Coleman at this point, and helped them start an office over in Hendersonville in Sumner County, and had the opportunity to kind of run a region after that, and then the great opportunity to come over to Wilson County and study under Mr. Whitaker, great credit mind, and just had that opportunity, and so was able to serve in the role as Chief Credit Officer starting January 1 of this year. So very grateful.
Was that his title? Are you kind of the new Gary Whitaker?
That is correct, yes, sir. So big shoes to fill, but he's probably listening this morning. So
he did make quite a name for himself at Wilson Bank and Trust, and of course all the things that happened with Sherry's run and all that is also part of Gary Whitaker's life. But we're glad to have you here this morning, and I don't know exactly what you want to talk about, but if you're in the business of lending money, I guess we're going to be talking about loans and lending money a little bit.
Well, that's correct. And what I'd tell you, and one of the things that I feel is a bedrock of the bank is, and I was thinking about this morning, I was coming over, just relationships and talking to people. That's really the foundation of where things start at Wilson Bank and Trust, and lending money. Actually, myself and Senator Pody were talking earlier about if it's okay if I mention he got his first loan at Wilson Bank and Trust, and for his home, and you don't forget things like that. And so we're just so grateful that we're here to serve the community, and for folks out there listening, they ought to stop in Wilson Bank and Trust, and we'd love the opportunity to know you and serve you.
Well, we all know, if we've paid any attention at all, we know that interest rates have gone up a little bit.
That's right.
And of course, I can remember times in my life when what you could get a loan for today would been just great, because at back about 1980 and 81, 82, they were 18, 19, 20%, and they're nowhere near that now, but a little bit higher than they were. And on a so traditionally low there for a long time.
That is correct, Coleman. I remember, talking to we really saw just last year, especially just, historic speed with the increases. And in talking to my father, he reminded me of just what you said. And he said he was tickled to death when he got I think it was 10.75. He'd hit the lottery, right? So I think a lot of it is perspective. I think we have had just depressed rates for a decade. And so while we are seeing prime today at 8.25, the Open Market Committee, actually their next meeting is May 2nd and 3rd. And so on the 3rd, I do believe that's a Wednesday, they'll come out and announce, nobody knows, but probably another 0.25% increase, and then hopefully let things kind of settle out and some of these interest rates catch up. Of course, they're continuing to try to manage, just the inflation, part of their dual mandate.
Well, you have such an array of loans to offer. I mean, if one doesn't fit, maybe another one will. There's several different ways to go about this for somebody, isn't there?
Absolutely, yes, sir. And that's one of the things that really we pride ourselves on, finding a way to work with folks, right? Because as you know, there's several different ways to go about it. And one of the great things about our bank is, we really serve everyone, right? We'll do an agricultural loan, or as I call them, cow loan, in Hartsville, or in one of our rural markets, to a pretty large multifamily construction project in Davidson County, Middle Tennessee area. And so really we serve everybody, consumer and business, and I really have a heart for that. So
I take it that anybody has an idea where they need a loan, and especially if it's maybe a business opportunity or an idea that they're wanting to develop, at least they can come and talk. It might not be a good idea, but you've had some experience to have a pretty good idea of what something's going to work or not, and how to tweak somebody's plans here to make it work.
No, absolutely, Coleman. So we lend to a lot of small businesses, and often there's ways that we can work with whatever their request is to help them try to meet whatever that financial need or goal is. So absolutely, a conversation is always key. So.
Well, you just need to get that relationship started, right?
That's right. Yes, sir. So.
Well, thank you for being with us this morning. Taylor Walker, Executive Vice President, Chief Credit Officer for Wilson Bank and Trust. And of course, member FDIC, equal housing lender, Middle Tennessee's community bank with excellence in banking since 1987. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Coleman.
All right.
Pleasure.
Okay, we're 10 minutes after the hour here on a Friday morning, and it's time for our Friday Senate report. And here's my friend, Senator Mark Pody.
Good morning, Coleman.
It's a great day.
It is a great day to be alive, Coleman. I'm going to tell you what, and this is Good Friday. And in our faith, this is a day that, of course, Jesus Christ was hung on the cross and died, and we're looking forward to Easter. And I'm just going to tell you that is, he's my base in my life. So I just appreciate the celebration that we're going to be having today and Easter as well.
Well, we're glad to have you here. We're not glad about some of the things we may have to talk about this morning.
I know, but before we start, Coleman,
right.
I've got something to share.
All right.
So I've got to give you a gift right here from Panera Bread. So I'm going to tell you, Lisa's the manager down there, and Gigi, she waits on me just like every single morning when I go in. That's where I see, a lot of people.
Okay, now where is this?
It is on South Cumberland.
Okay.
All right. So
I know where it is. Yes,
yep.
Yes, South Cumberland.
And so they listen to Coleman Walker, okay? And so they say, Pody, you're going in to see Coleman again, right? I'm going in. And they said, well, bring this for Coleman Walker. So here's something if you want to share it or whatever. But I told them I would bring it and tell you that there's a gift for you.
Well, that is great, and thank you so much, Panera Bread. And on South Cumberland Street, right here in Lebanon, Tennessee.
Yes, and that's where I see Woody a lot as well. Woody Hunt goes in there. There's just a whole bunch of people go into Bible studies and so forth. So that's pretty cool. But I wanted to bring that for you, okay?
Well, thank you so much.
So we had 3 state representatives. Now, any time that somebody's going to be expelled from a public office, this is serious. This is really serious. It needs to be taken serious. Now, I'm, of course, in the Senate. And this happened in the House. So I know that Clark's going to be in here Monday, and I think he'll kind of walk through all the things that are going on and the reasons why and so forth. But this made national news. It's going to be top of the mind of a lot of things, a lot of people for a while. We had protests down there this week, and it's going to be hard to walk through some of the great things that we're doing at the state with this kind of a cloud over us at this point. So we're almost ending session, but it wasn't the best way to end session. So, but 2 of the 3 were actually expelled yesterday. And it was interesting because I've already gotten a lot of hate mail and calls and things, threats and so forth. And I'm telling Debbie, just tell them that I'm in the Senate, not in the House. So I didn't get to vote on that.
All right. The rules say, what, 2/3 have to vote? Is that it?
That's correct.
99 people in the House, so that would be 66 people.
Yes.
To have to say no or to expel or whatever.
That's correct. And 2 of them, they had more than enough votes. One of them survived, but only by 1 vote. Only by 1 vote.
65 instead of the 66 it was needed.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So it was very, very close on the last one. Yeah. The optics isn't going to be good, because people can say, well, it's racial or whatever, because the 2 that were expelled were black young men, and it was a white person that wasn't. So, but I'm going to tell you, the House, I don't think that had any issue whatsoever. It's their actions and so forth, and you've got to be accountable for the actions that you do.
Where were you when this was happening? Were you even in Nashville at this time?
Oh yes, we were there, and the protests were there, and we seen it all. We roll called in the morning and such, but that actually went into quite late in the night, so I didn't stay. Or I shouldn't say. early evening anyway, so we didn't stay for the whole thing. But it's done, it's passed, and we got to move forward and get some good legislation done. One of the things that we did do that I thought was really important, and the shooting that happened has really made the whole state kind of say, how serious do we take school shootings and mass shootings and such? So we have given a $200 million, which is, and you know I watch our budget, and we are investing $200 million into school safety. This is above and beyond. We're just saying how we need to make sure our schools and our students are safe, how our teachers are safe. We're making sure every school has an SRO. We're going to make sure that there's Homeland Security in every county, and we want to do everything we can at the state to at least make the first step to make sure our kids are safe and our teachers are safe. So that's a big investment that we're making, and I know that next year when we come in, we're going to have another thoughtful way of what we can do to protect our kids.
Well, we're at a time where we normally take a break, so let's do that here. Senator Mark Pody, our Friday Senate Report on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's 7:14. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Absolute Kubota. They'll help you rent the right tool for the job. The Kubota Orange Rental Program makes it easy to rent the right equipment. Stop by Absolute Kubota. Check out the U35 excavator or the SVL 75 compact track loader, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Still a little bit lighter than normal coming down 65 through Robertson County right now, through White House, all the way down into Goodlettsville. As we keep an eye on traffic over near the airport, it got a little bit busy earlier on that 40 eastbound off-ramp at Donaldson Pike. A lot of folks trying to catch a flight over there at VNA and trying to get out of town for the weekend. Still moving right now through Brentwood, Franklin on 65 northbound. Prince's Hot Chicken is catering. If you haven't seen that menu in a while, trust me, it is so awesome. PrincesHotChicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
You know, starting to save for your future doesn't have to be difficult. Let Wilson Bank and Trust help tone up your financial goals this year. Our certificates of deposits or CDs can help your money work harder with our competitive rates, earning you more than ever before. WBT checking options allow you to earn rewards you can really use, like a high interest rate or cash back on check card purchases when you meet some e-banking qualifications. Visit your closest Wilson Bank and Trust office or online at wilsonbank.com to get started today. Member FDIC.
Coleman and Company here on a Friday morning, our Friday Senate Report. Senator Mark Pody is with us, and we've got more to talk about. And you handed me something here about...
So, Coleman, we passed something for specialty license plates. And on there has something to do with Coleman Walker's Club. It's the Lions Club. And so what we do is anytime somebody, a club wants, or, you know, an organization wants to have a special license plate, like Cumberland University has and so forth, they come and say, can we get 1,000 people to buy a specialty license plate? And they can have their own license plate. And then part of that money that they pay would go for a cause that organization wants. And I'm a Lion, and I know you're a Lion as well. And so we actually got one for the Lions Club. Well, and so that passed this week as well. So I just wanted to make sure that I pointed that out to you. But there's so many good causes. You know, there's a lot of different license plates out there, pro-life and so forth. But that happened this week, and I thought I'd bring it in as a surprise for your club.
Well, that's a surprise.
Okay.
We need a lot of people to get that license plate, as well as some more members.
Yes. But you know, there's so many good clubs. We were just talking about the JCs. You know, I mean, you got the Rotary, you got the Lions Club, Kiwanis. There's just so many good clubs out there, and people trying to give back to the community. They don't have to. They volunteer their time, their efforts, their money, and their resources to try and make our communities better. And I appreciate all the clubs doing this. But I want to go back to a couple things with the protests at the Capitol. We had literally hundreds and hundreds of people down there for the last few days to be talking about making sure that we can make our schools safe. And
for the most part, they've been orderly.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Now, look, they're going to be yelling and so forth, but Coleman, I don't mind that. People have the right to come down. I want them to make sure that they can come down and let their voices be heard. Because, if somebody is passionate about something, we want to know what it is, and we want to hear from them. They got to do it in an orderly way, and, we don't want to tolerate people tearing up the Capitol or anything like that. But to come down, express yourself, be heard, be seen is something I'm all for. So even though we had the protests, and I want to hear from constituents and what's going on.
Well, again, there's a right way and a wrong way to do all of these things.
Yes.
And we do have some rules that you in the Senate and those in the House are supposed to abide by. And then there's some there's ways to go about discipline if they don't. And that's kind of what this, I think, in the House was all about.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
And I'm thinking, if somebody has overstepped the bounds and are really sorry, either didn't know or in their extra enthusiasm or whatever did it, and then they're sorry for it, that's one thing. But if they're not, then I sort of think they get what's coming to them, and that's just my opinion.
Yes, and I know Clark's going to be talking about that, or Representative Boyd, and I'm sure Representative Lynn will be talking about that when they're on the show, because they were in it. They were literally in it. I was just a bystander.
All right, well, let's get back to what you want to talk about.
So let me go back to something else. This week, we have worked on, what it's like to be pro-life. And we said, we're not going to have the abortions here, but what do we do with the kids that parents don't want? How do we work to make sure we're supporting the mothers that are going to be raising these children and so forth? So we had a lot of focus on adoption. If we have people that want to adopt kids in Tennessee and we have kids that are available, how can we make that easier? And it's been, in fact, people have had to go out of country to adopt kids, and it's costed just tens of thousands of dollars. So all summer this year, we have been actually in studies. What is it that is preventing people in Tennessee from adopting these children? So we've literally tried to take a lot of those roadblocks out, still make sure that their parents are the right parents, that they're safe, that they don't have criminal backgrounds, things like that. But what can we do to cut some of the red tape?
Well, take just a second here, because I'd like to know what you found out. I've known people who've gone out of the country and adopted children. They couldn't have any, and they've gone to the Soviet Union or Russia, even places, faraway places. Why is that?
All right. So, I've got one. I just truly love my grandson, but he's from Africa. And my daughter went over to Africa and to get somebody from Africa and adopt them from there. So I've been very much involved in this whole process as well. And sometimes we have so much red tape that it is hard to get on the list. It's hard for us to turn around and say, we're trying to do safety measures, and we're trying to do so many things that they have to do to get qualified and such, that the kids are sitting there needing to be adopted. They're in foster homes or in places that we're just kind of in holding areas as we go through this process of getting them into the adoption system and making sure that the parents can get them. So we literally just said, what can we do? Can we look at how we can maybe look at terminating parents' rights? Now, I'm a very, very strong person to say we want to make sure that we can reunite them with their parents, if at all possible, if there is any way we can do it. But if you can't find the parent, if somebody's gone, as an example, they've not seen that parent for years and years. Well, how do you terminate that parent's rights when you can't even find them to tell them that you got to come to court to do this, or these are your kids, and we can't just let somebody be adopted if there's a parent out there. So we got to go through those steps. So we've looked at some of those laws and how can we streamline that a little bit and still make sure that we're protecting the parents' rights. But what can we do to move forward?
If you feel like you've found a few solutions?
Well, we have. For example, there's some things that one of them is if a parent was in prison for more than 10 years, okay, what does it look like for them to say, I'm willing to give up my adoptive rights? And some of them they say, we want to still stay the parent, and we're anxious to get back when we're out of jail, what we can do. But some of them are saying, well, no, we really don't want anything to do with the kids, but we don't want to give up the adoptive, our parents' rights. We're just going to do here because we're mad at somebody. So what can we do to move those along? So we tried to give some of the judges a little bit more discretion so the judge can sit down, look at that case, and say, what is the right thing? What can we do for everybody involved? How can we help the kids? How can we help move things forward? And sometimes you've got kids that are, they've been with adoptive parents or they've been with foster parents for years, and those parents say, look, we've raised them from when they're little babies, and now that they're 5 years old or 6 years old, somebody comes along and says, we want to try and take them away. What can we do to protect those kids? These are the only parents say no. What does that look like? And so we've taken all those laws, we've taken all that red tape, and we tried to say what makes sense. How can we get the judge to look at this as a case-by-case basis and cut some of this silly red tape that was out there. And I think we've done a pretty good job of having a balance to keep our parents, because God gave those kids to the parents, not the state. And I want to make sure I'm protecting that, but still move this forward. And I think we did that.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. You worked hard.
We did. We absolutely did. Something else that we did this week was we did what they call the Community Oversight Board. And that means the police, I'm going to take the one, for example, in Nashville. If there's a police shooting or whatever, we've got an oversight board that would then go of citizens to say, hey, what really happened? Because there's a lot of times somebody will say there's police brutality or something like that. Who would look at it? And the citizens had felt, we just don't want the police looking at themselves. We want somebody else looking at it. But then there were some people that would, for example, if there's on the oversight board and there's a crime scene, they would go and start messing up evidence. They would cross the yellow tape. They would do stuff and start picking things up. And it's like, now your fingerprints are on there, and it's hard to say, you can't go mess up what a crime scene is, and then how do you turn it over to the TBI, because who planted what, who did what. So we tried to say, hey, there's got to be some rules and balance. And so I went to the TBI, and this was my bill, and I went to the TBI, talked to the TBI, went to some of the police boards and talked with them and looked at them across the state and said, who's doing it right? I mean, how can we have this balance? I don't want to take them away, but I want to make sure that everybody stays in an orderly way to make sure we get to the truth, whatever that truth might be, and say, this is the right thing to do, because our police officers are doing a great job, and 99.99% of them every single day are doing nothing but protecting us and working. But sometimes somebody will have a bad day, or sometimes there is an officer that doesn't need to be an officer. We have to have an oversight to look at that as well on those rare occasions. But if it's going to be done, it's going to be done right, where the police officers are protected, but we can walk through the truth and let an outside organization look at it, like the TBI and the Community Oversight Board.
You talked to a number of judges regarding this?
I didn't talk to the judges. I went specifically to the police chiefs, and I've talked to different ones across the state. I talked to the chief organizations, the lobbyists of each group. I've talked to the Fraternal Order of Police. I actually talked to the Community Oversight Boards. I talked to the TBI. I worked hard to get this right for everybody.
Okay, so is the bill?
It's passed. It passed the Senate. It's in the House right now, and the House, it should pass this coming week, and I think the governor's going to sign it, and it's going to give us a good opportunity for citizens that voted saying, we want this. They're going to still have their voice to say, but it's going to be done in a systematic, orderly way that everybody is protected.
Okay, so well, that sounds good.
I think
everybody's going to be happy.
I do too.
Although I doubt that.
Well, I have got to tell you that most everybody, we worked hard to do that. I got to tell you something else. We had Watertown. They had their school champs and such. They were supposed to come down, and we were going to honor them on the Senate floor, but because of all the protests and such, so they didn't get down there. But it was shout out to Watertown for how good that their school did, championships and so forth. But I'll try and find a way to go down to Watertown, present it down there, or work it with this way. But I understand they don't want to get the kids involved with all the protests and things like that down there. And I also went to the Ag Hall of Fame dinner. And Coleman, I've got to tell you, I was so proud. Keith Harrison does just a great job. But to be looking at Wilson County, we are right here, right next to Nashville. but how many farms we have, how much agriculture we have, and what we're doing here in this county, we can really be proud of our farmers and our agriculture people here.
That's some great people to be inducted Tuesday night.
We absolutely did. Absolutely did. Now, I've got to tell you, I got a couple cows and things like that myself. So, with one of the winds, some of our cows, if a tree falls on a fence, there's nothing you can do. So I got a call, and Terry Ash is my neighbor, okay? And so some of my cows got out, and they ended up over at Terry Ash's place. And, Terry Ash is just a really, really great guy. He said, Mark, we'll get him up, we'll help you, and all that kind of stuff. So Terry and Ash and I were out there rounding up cows.
Cowboys.
So two politicians out there working with the cows. Can you believe that?
Yeah. Well, Terry liked to get out in the solitary every once in a while with all the problems he had that falls on the shoulders of the sheriff.
Well, and absolutely, and he was, of course, assistant commissioner for Department of Safety. He's got a great career of what he did. But the reason I'm bringing that up with the agriculture, it's so nice to be working just as solid as farmers are. They just take care of us. It's just an industry, organization. They just take care of our animals. They take care of our food. They take care of so much of things that we do that we eat every single day. So I appreciate all of our farmers.
Well said, and our time is up, believe it or not.
Wait a minute. I've got 2 more pages.
I'll hold it till next Friday.
All right.
Senator Mark Bodie, our Friday Senate report. We hope you'll stay with us for more here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Bates Ford. That regular oil change $34.95, up to 5 quarts oil, tax and disposal $16.73 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Traffic's on the increase just a bit coming out of Wilson County through Mount Juliet on I-40 westbound. Headed towards Hermitage. Still not bad from the north on 65. Normally it'd be a little bit heavy right now coming down 65 through White House, that section of Robertson County, all the way down into Goodlettsville. Watch for radar I-40 out through parts of Dixon County. Nash Painting services all of Middle Tennessee. If you want your house painted right this spring and summer by professionals, and they've got great ratings, check them out at nashpainting.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Are you ready to move on up to your next dream home?
We are full-time real estate professionals with over 42 years of combined experience.
We will get the job done for you to move on up.
Ready for a deluxe apartment in the sky? Remember, don't make a move without us.
Call Judy Cox or Medina Himmentoler at Exit Rocky Top Realty. C&D Team 443-3130.
Hello, Cumberland baseball fans. I'm Tyler Hughes from Dyer, Tennessee, and I'm an outfitter on the Phoenix baseball team. We are currently ranked 18th in the nation and are in first place in the Mid-South Conference. But we have a tough conference opponent in Campbellsville coming to town this weekend for a 3-game series Friday and Saturday. Come on out to the 6 and check us out or listen on WANT 98.9 FM, WCOR 1490 AM, online at WANTFM.com or GoCumberlandAthletics.com. Check out our website for possible changes due to weather. Let's go Phoenix.
Cool weather for us as we head into the weekend. Look for temperatures climbing through the 50s this morning, and we will only see a high of 59 under heavy cloud cover. Now, these clouds linger for Saturday with a high of 60 degrees. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm Number 1 Ned.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us and welcome to part 2 here on a Friday morning. We want to welcome Medina Himmentoler to talk about the C&D team of Exit Rocky Top Realty. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, 1330 West Main in Lebanon. Great people, great service. They're people you can trust. And Medina is here this morning, kind of doing it solo. Miss Judy is somewhere else.
Yes, just to update you, she's still with Mike at the hospital. He had a little bit of, last week, he had a little bit of a confusion, memory loss type thing. And so they're still continuing to do testing. And He also had a kidney stone, and so they've got to still remove the kidney stone. They're trying to take care of this other thing, but he's a lot better. His memory came back. The confusion is less, and so he's doing a whole lot better.
Well, glad to hear that.
Yes,
I'm really
yes.
glad. I didn't know this when I guess it was when Diana came. Was that last week?
Yes, that was last Friday.
Well,
yes.
I get them all mixed up, but I knew when she was here by herself that I just thought maybe y'all all out of town, and then I heard that Mike wasn't well, and Mike has been so supportive of my radio program here and of the station, but especially the time you're here to talk about real estate and all that you do and how that he feels it has helped you, and we're certainly glad to that. That's what we're here. That's what advertising's for.
That's right. That's
And
right.
I think we have helped you get your name out there.
Yes.
But he is a fine guy, and I always appreciate him and just wish him the best.
Whenever I had told him, I said, well, I'm going to the radio tomorrow, and of course he wants to go home. And he said, hey, I'll go with you. And so I said, I would love for you to. And he goes, well, I'll bust out if you'll get me out of here. So he wanted to come bad, but he's getting a whole lot better. And so we're.
Do you think he's listening?
I'm sure he is.
Well, Mike,
I'm sure he is.
get well soon. We want you back.
Yes, yes. And so get back on a schedule and a normal, whatever that is. So.
I'm not sure there's normal in real estate.
There's not a normal in real estate. You're correct. But yeah, Judy's been right there with him. And so she's still been answering her phone, not as much because I've been taking care of most of all that. But
that's what she trained you for.
That's right. That's exactly right. But we've been still rocking and rolling and doing stuff. We just been doing it a different way.
Yeah.
So anyway,
well, you got more. You got some more to tell us about some listings. Or,
yes, we have
or a lecture or something.
No, I leave the lectures to her. She's really good at that. I like listening to them. And I learn a whole lot. But we have one coming up in Smithville. And it's, Downtown. It's in Smithville, though. It's going to be on New Home Road, and it's going to be coming up next week. So we'll have that one. It's a one-level, 2-bedroom and 1 bath. It's a great starter home. It's been well taken care of, so it's going to be coming up soon. And then we also have land. If you're looking for land, whether it be a half acre that you want to build a house on a basement, it's a basement lot. So if you like to have a house with a basement, and we have all the way, we have the 5 acres, we've got 10 acres, we've got 7 acres, we've got 50 acres, and we've got 80 acres.
Wow.
So we go anywhere from half acre all the way to a farm that's 80 acres.
Where are the 80 acres?
So the 80 acres is in Watertown.
Yeah.
And it's all fenced with 2 barns, electricity, water, a pond, and it's $699.9. So it's a great deal for that. So then we have Vestal Road, 50 acres, and it's 1.8. And then it goes all the way down to your half acre, which is 130,000 for that, the basement lot, and then prices in between. So give us a call for any of that if you're looking to list your home or thinking about it or getting ready for the spring and you want to clean out your house, and then you say, well, wait a minute, I think I want a bigger house because I have all this stuff, or I need to downsize because I got rid of all my stuff.
Yeah.
So give us a call. We'd be glad to come out and give you a price, what the market would sell for now. So it doesn't matter if our sign's in the yard or not. If you're looking for a house, we can show it to you.
Mentioning prices and so on, has it come down just a little lately?
A little. They're not doing the 5 and 6 offers, multiple offers on a house. They're sitting a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Of course, the interest rate is helping do that. But they're coming down a little bit, but they're not, falling down or anything of that nature. They're a little bit, they are.
Real estate still requires quite an investment.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
But we're not making any more land.
No land. So if you're looking for land, wanting to build, wanting to hang on to it, wanting to put cows on a piece of property, wanting to do anything with that, give us a call. And if we don't have it, we'll help you find it.
All right. Again, we like to say you're people we can trust. Or to our audience, people you can trust. Somebody answers that phone 24/7, which is a good thing. But the big thing is where you always leave us, and that is?
You don't ever remember always remember, don't ever make a move without us.
Medina, thank you so much, and have a good week. We'll see you next Friday.
Thank you.
All right. Medina Hemmentola, Exit Rocky Top Realty C&D team, right there on West Main Street, and we are about 22 minutes before the hour. I have a somewhat surprise guest, I guess, this morning. I don't know how many people know she is going to be here, but and she's brought somebody with her this morning. But terrific Teresa. Good morning.
You didn't know I had a title, did you, Miss Joyce? At least to Coleman, I'm terrific.
Well, of course, Teresa has been my guest on the last Friday of the month, usually at the Lebanon Senior Citizen Center for all these years, and she retired, what was it, the end of the year?
The end of the year, yeah.
And I think this is the first time you've been back.
Yeah.
But here it is.
First time I've had to get up and be anywhere this early in a while.
But you are beating the drums for another reason this morning.
I am. I will tell you, ever since I was a little girl, my mother was in what they used to call the home demonstration clubs. Now they're called FCE, and I even wrote down so I wouldn't get it wrong, family and community education. And I always said, as soon as I retire, I'm going to join a club. And I see Miss Joyce Sampson at the Lebanon Senior Center. I said, Miss Joyce, I think I'm going to join your club. And I did. I went to visit in January, the week after New Year's, and loved it and joined the Oakland, which is the maybe the largest, but definitely the oldest FCE family. It is
Okay.
Family and Community Education Club in Wilson County.
Well, my mother, years ago,
Yes.
was a member of the, I guess it was Taylorsville.
Right.
Home
Yes.
demonstration
Yes.
club.
Still inactive. They're active.
But you- and
Joyce, welcome to our program.
Thank you.
Good to
Coleman.
see you this morning.
Thank you very much.
Miss Joyce has lived in that community for how many years?
60-something years.
Yeah. When you married Mr. Julian.
Right. We moved there and still live in the same house. My mother-in-law was a member of this club.
That's right.
And she's the one that got me started. I mean, I was just got married and worked a little while and come back home and Julian said, I want you to stay here and raise our kids. And I said, okay, I sure will.
I didn't get that offer, but and then at that time, and I even said, was it still called the Tomato Canning Club? But at that point, it was already called the Home Demonstration Club.
Right, it sure was. And that club's been there ever since 1960. It's been there a long, long time.
And you know, the wonderful thing about that club.
That's over 100 years.
It is. That is. You would not believe the history. And I'm here to talk about a yard sale, but I'm also here to promote not just even our FCE club. I have so many friends, and there are 11 FCE clubs in Wilson County. I really think Wilson County is the most active. Shelley Barnes is our fearless leader with the UT Extension Office, and she is kind of in charge of all the FCE clubs. And I think that is probably the easiest part of her job, because these FCE clubs are some strong women that take really good care of their clubs. Yeah. And I walked in the door that day, and Miss Joyce has been in that club for 60 years. A lot of the women there have, but you know what? They just treated me like I'd been there all my life, and I just loved it. I had so much fun. It's great.
We love to have her because she's a worker.
But don't you have an event you're here to promote as well?
I do, and I do want to talk about.
We'll go to break in 2 or 3 minutes, and I thought we might mention
yeah.
that before the break, and then we can whatever.
And I want Miss Joyce to tell about the history of the club. I walked in that clubhouse and went, wow, that building is well over 100 years old and was reconstructed there. But let me talk about the yard sale. We're having a yard sale. One of the ladies said, let's have a yard sale. And they all looked at me because I've done so many yard sales in my past life. We are having a yard sale next Friday and Saturday, which will be Friday, April the 14th and Saturday the 15th. And I believe it's also the mile-long yard sale in Watertown. So when you're in yard sale mode, and we're doing ours on Friday and Saturday, and it's at the Oakland FCE Club. Now, the Oakland FCE Club is located right across the street from Friendship Christian School. It's on Berea Church Road. You can see Friendship Christian School from our little front door at our clubhouse. And so it's just right off Coles Ferry Pike on Berea Church Road. And we'll be there rain or shine because we're going to have lots of great stuff. We're taking in things on Monday and it's full. And we said, oh my goodness, we've got another donation day next Monday. What are we going to do? But we're getting more tables and more clothes racks. Hopefully good weather and we can put some stuff outside. But we have some great treasures, really great treasures out there. And so if MJ said, ooh, you're having a yard sale, we're taking in donations again Monday from 10 until 2. So this is coming Monday, which is the 10th, I do believe. From 10 until 2, we'll be there and taking in donations. And if you have a box of stuff, Medina was talking about spring cleaning. If you'll just call me or Miss Marilyn Pence is working on this with me, we'll run by your house and pick it up as long as it's just a box or two. And it's going to a wonderful cause. And after the break, we'll talk about all the wonderful community service things that this great group of fabulous ladies takes care of.
Okay, this is next Friday and Saturday. And
next Friday and Saturday. It starts at 8 a.m.
8 a.m. both days.
8 a.m. Please don't come too early because we might not be there. 8 o'clock, and it'll go until 3 in the afternoon, Friday and Saturday. So if you want first choice, come on out Friday.
Yeah, absolutely. Joyce, we hadn't let you say enough, but we will after we go to their break, okay? Joyce Sampson and Teresa Botts are here. Terrific, Teresa. On Coleman & Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. 744. This update brought to you by Absolute Kubota. They'll help you rent the right tools for the job. The Kubota Orange Rental Program makes it easy to rent the right equipment. Stop by Absolute Kubota. Check out the U35 excavator or the SVL 75 compact track loader. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Traffic still very light out here on I-40 coming in from Mount Juliet. As you make your way through Hermitage, Donaldson, 24 normally starts to bunch up this time of the morning coming up through the Hickory Hollow area. That seems to be smooth sailing right now on 24 westbound as you leave Rutherford County, Murfreesboro, headed towards the Nashville area. Now radar spotted earlier and reported to us on I-40 out through certain parts of Dixon County. Princess Hot Chicken is catering. Check out the menu today at princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Have you ever wondered what the ministry of Jesus was really like? Now, thanks to Angel Studios, you can get a glimpse. The most successful crowd-funded series in history is coming to College Hills. By now, you've heard of or seen snippets of The Chosen, but maybe a busy schedule has kept you from enjoying it without interruption. Beginning Sunday afternoon, April 16th, and for 8 weeks following, College Hills will be hosting this outstanding portrayal of the life and ministry of Jesus. There will be no formal worship time or collection. The event is free and open to the whole family. Following the showing, there will be a Q&A led by members of College Hills and other faith communities. Join us for light snacks and beverages at 4:30 p.m. and for the 1-hour showing at 5 p.m. Reignite your passion for the Savior of the world and expand your knowledge of His mission. Once again, that's April 16th, 5 p.m. at the College Hills Church of Christ on Leeville Pike in Lebanon, Tennessee. Come and see for yourself. Visit collegehills.org for more information.
Coleman & Company, thanks for joining us. Our final segment here on a Friday morning. And we are glad again to have Joyce Sampson. This is the Oakland.
The Oakland
FCE Club.
FCE Club.
And Teresa Botts, terrific Teresa, the main spokesperson this morning, I think. But she has joined your club and taken the ball and run with it, right?
Yes, she sure
has.
has.
She's wanting you to tell some history.
Yes. There is beautiful history of this building.
It is. It really is. And it's been there for 100 years.
Yes.
And in 1916 is when it started. And the community club in Wilson County, it was the first community club in Wilson County. And it's the oldest, too, right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the ladies first met in their homes before they started, to start a club.
Mm-hmm.
And then in World War I, they folded bandages for the soldiers and they made butterscotch pies for the soldiers. And when they come home, they were ready to meet all their friends and wanting those buttermilk pies and things. But anyway, after the war in 1920, the powder plant in Old Hickory had some houses over there that they had demolished. They had torn them down. And so the ladies and men of Oakland Club heard about this. And they say, oh, this is our dream that we've been dreaming for. And so the men and the women both went to the powder house in Old Hickory. And they bought one of those houses there and give $300 for it. So that was their dream.
But you know, and this is what, 1920 maybe? The $300 was quite a bit of money.
Then, yes.
But that's where you're building. That's part of your building still, right?
Yes.
And it's some of the most beautiful wood. It's so beautiful when you walk in that clubhouse. That is the interior. It's the most beautiful wood. It's beautiful. It is.
Well, you managed to keep it preserved all these years, over 100 years.
Yes. See, we have a lot of things going on in the community. We have ice cream suppers to get our money to keep it up.
Yeah, you've been here a few times to talk about that.
Well, and Miss Joyce is the queen of homemade ice cream. I said, that's a dying art. I need to come to her house and learn how to. You pass that along to your kids, though. Clark and Tammy do the ice cream.
Right. Tammy's real good.
Oh.
She is real good.
So we need to keep Tammy.
But anyway, the building had oak in the ceilings, and the little bitty planks is the ceiling and the walls, and you cannot drive a nail in oak.
Oh.
But it is beautiful.
It really is. I was so impressed when I walked in.
We have a big, large room. We have a kitchen, and we have a bathroom. And we rent it out several times a year, mostly a lot of times at Christmas. There has been weddings there. There has been showers, baby showers, wedding showers, and but we do make our money from having ice cream suppers and like this yard sale we're fixing to have. That's going to be money for us to keep our clubhouse up.
Yeah, and the Oakland Club, the Oakland FCE Club, is who maintains it. They pay the taxes and the electric bill, so they have to do some fundraisers. And there's a lot to maintaining a beautiful old building like that.
It really is.
It's got a beautiful red tin roof on it. When did y'all put that on? Do you remember?
That's been about maybe 6 years ago.
Yeah, it's so pretty. It's a beautiful building.
How many members do you claim?
About 30.
30.
Well, and I think they actually told me 35, but I've been recruiting, and that was...
Yeah, she's brought a lot. She's been coming.
You know, I think my generation, a lot of my generation, I'll say, oh, I'm going to my FCE club, and they say, what's that? Yeah. And I said, girl, you need to come. My friend Julie Polson has already come and joined, and I've got several other friends that I'm inviting, and the ladies are so excited. They said, oh, we need new members. Please don't ever let our club die.
Right.
And I'm just excited. Miss Annie Sue Patton is in there, and Miss Mary Lena Price. I like to sit between them. They're just wonderful. Hetty Lee, Richardson, and Marilyn Pence are really over the yard sale, and they just kind of said, you're on our committee. I said, okay.
Put her to work.
There are wonderful women. We have lunch when we meet the first Friday of every month. We're not today because it's Good Friday and we're getting ready for the yard sale. It's kind of a mess right now. There's so much stuff in there. But we have lunch, and I want to tell you, these ladies are some good cooks. And we have lunch. We take turns, A through K and L through Z. And so we have lunch, and it's so much fun. But we have educational programs. We do crafts. We start with a song and a prayer. and we a thought for the day, and
Pledge to the flag.
yeah, we pledge to the flag, and it's wonderful. Being a part of one of these clubs is wonderful, and that was one thing I wanted to encourage. And I have really good friends that are in several different clubs, and Regina McCathern is the president of the Wilson County FCE Association. She's in the Tucker's Crossroads Club. Miss Frances Baker, I know that you know probably from working at the Expo Center during the fair. Miss Frances, I think, is the president of her Leeville Club.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And a really good friend of mine joined their club, and she loves being out there with the ladies at the Leeville Club. And it's not restricted to women. When my mother was she was in the Horn Springs Club, which I think disbanded because they all kind of got older. But Mr. Bernie Kane would bring Miss Nell. His wife had Parkinson's, and Mr. Bernie came, and they just loved having him. I think he was the president for a little while. So if there are men that would love to join, we'll welcome you. You just got to cook like on your time.
How many clubs are there? You said
11.
11, right? Okay.
There are
You named
11.
about half of them.
11 in Wilson County. There are a few in Mount Juliet, and they're the clubs are great. They really are. And
Does Shelley Barnes have an affiliation with each one of these?
yes. Yes, and they just had, and I didn't get to go, but they just had their yearly meeting, their spring dinner, and Lucas Holman, who is the extension director, actually did a program. And I call Lucas used to do programs for me, and I call him the daylily nerd, and he knows so much about daylilies, but. All of the clubs work together. We do a monthly craft. I think it's the first Wednesday. I'm so new to this.
Yeah, first Wednesday.
Yes, a monthly craft. We do show and tell, and Miss Joyce almost always brings something for show and tell that she's made. Yeah. And it's just so much fun. But we are doing this yard sale to help us keep this going.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
now I think you had alluded to maybe telling us a little bit about some of the items or some of the reasons, some desirable items you're going to have next Friday and Saturday.
Yes, and I have to mention our president is Helene Cash right now. We elect a president, I guess, every year. And Helene, I laughed. Helene did the house cleaning out, and I did too. And my garage was full. I told them, I said, y'all, if it was just mine and Helene's stuff, we could have a yard sale. But we do. There are some antiques. There are clothes. There are home goods. There's a nice air fryer toaster oven that I was looking at. There's some nice appliances, shoes. There's toys. There's books. A little bit of anything and everything. And
children too.
Yeah. There are children's items. It would just be worth your time to drive out there just to see our beautiful building.
And you're still waiting to collect some more this Monday, right?
We will be there Monday from 10 until 2. And again, it's 88 Berea Church Road. You just turn by the church right across from Friendship Christian School. It's a pretty little white house with the red tin roof. You can't
If you can find Friendship, you can find a place.
Yes.
And everybody knows where Friendship is, just about.
But and like I said, I love the story of the building, and I love that Miss Joyce has been with that group for so long, and you love that building.
Oh, I love it. Yes, I feel like I was just born there. In fact, I was just down the road a little bit where the store is. That's where I was born.
Really?
So, yeah.
So you're a Possum Town girl.
That's right.
Yeah, we're in Possum Towns where we are.
That's right.
But it is so much fun, and I love that we do have generations together. I went to school with Miss Joyce's kids, and it is so much fun, and I love hearing the stories and the wisdom from the ladies that are there.
Well, Teresa, you wouldn't know this, but Joyce would. Back when we were in high school, nobody lived in Possum Town. You lived on one side or the other.
Oh, you're right, Coleman.
It wasn't Possum Town back then.
No.
Well, nobody claimed it. I mean, it wasn't the in thing to live in Possum Town back then.
Well,
like it is now.
it is
And
now.
I think they moved it on down closer to where I live now.
And I was reading, and I didn't even know who this gentleman was. There was a Mr. Trice that donated the property.
Winfield Christ.
Yes, that they put this house on. You know, the community was so proud of this. I think, and I had said, was this ever a school? And they said no, but one time the school burned.
And they used it for the school.
Yeah.
So,
it's definitely a
school?
community.
Oakland?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oakland.
Yeah, it's definitely a community center.
Before we had Carroll Oakland, back in the good old days, there was Oakland
Carroll
where that,
School.
what is it, a daycare or something, or whatever's there now.
Yeah, yes.
And then there was Carroll School, of course, out on 231
Right.
South. And now it's Carroll Oakland, the bigger complex.
Right.
But the Oakland School is no more, but that building where they went to school is still there.
Still there. But it burnt at one time
Yes.
there. And that's why they used the clubhouse for a while.
Yeah, they just have welcomed it. It's just such a welcoming place. But again, I just want to encourage, if there are any ladies or gentlemen that are out there, my intentions when I retired was I would never be bored, and I have not been bored 1 second yet. But these clubs, if you want information about the FCE clubs, you can call the extension office and talk to Shelley or my friend Diane Marsh that works there, 444-9584, and they can tell you about any of the clubs. I really like this club because it's on my side of town. My best friends at Tucker's Crossroads, I would have loved to have been with them, but it's a long ways over there. There's a club in every community in Wilson County, and they're so much fun.
All right, we got 1 minute to go, and Teresa, one more time, you've got this big yard sale. Is that what you're calling it?
Yes, it is. It's a big, huge indoor yard sale. It's Friday the 14th and Saturday the 15th from 8 to 3. We have treasures galore, don't we, Miss Joyce?
Yes, we do. We want everybody to come that can.
Yeah, come and support our club. If you've got some stuff with spring cleaning, I will be glad to come get it from you or drop it off to us next Monday, the 10th, from 10 until 2. And just come see our beautiful club. I hope I've sparked your interest because, Miss Joyce, it's beautiful. Y'all have done a good job taking care of it.
Thank you.
All right. Joyce Sampson and Teresa Botts with the Oakland FCE Club with us this morning. And that's going to do it for this Friday. Thank you all very much. And until Monday, I wish you a fantastic day.